Mark, hello, good morning. How are you?
We've had some proper rain up here, hey? Oh,
Okay. Oh, you want to talk about
if
the
you
rain? I always thought that you
no,
wanted to
don't
talk
want to
about
talk
the
about the rain. But
sport.
there were these storm warnings, and so we all buttoned down the hatches. But
Right.
that's okay for those of us who could. If you look at the stream flowing through Alexandria, not so nice. Eh? So
Oh, really? Well,
a lot of water, and but that didn't seem to stop our sports teams this weekend having a bit of a go. Eh? The Springboks, I
full.
mean, they're now champions at the 15 game, the sevens
Yes.
game, and the 14s
Yes.
game. Okay.
And the
They, yeah.
13s game.
And the 13s game, as it turns out.
Yes.
I think what we should do is change the whole game to make it just
Right.
20 minutes and we field 10 players. And then we'll see. Then we'll have a go. Okay. Anyway,
Are you in
great.
favor, by the way, of the 30-minute red card or the 20-minute red
Well,
card?
there's two kind of red cards. There's a 20-minute red card and
Right.
there's a permanent red card, which is the one
Right.
that we were dealt twice, 2 weeks in a row, which says the 20 minutes says you get off, but you can be replaced by someone else in 20 minutes who's not as naughty as you are. And then the
Right.
20-minute permanent is we play for 14 for the rest of the game. That has plagued
Right.
us for the last two tests. Now, there's
Right.
some controversy about that because, first of
Right.
all, we didn't think that this week's in particular warranted a red card. In fact, replays show there was no head contact. Without going into detail, this is what's getting to me. Is it
Right.
used to be that the refs used to do their best and win some, lose some, rubber the green stuff, and we played the game. It's a
Right.
rough game. It's
Right.
not ballet. Okay.
Right.
But now every time there's a bit of a bump and a knock, and I get that we need to save serious injuries, but it's like
Yeah.
a committee decision. The game comes to a standstill. The three refs on the field gather, they get the TMO, they announce the results publicly over the PA system. Anytime you bring a committee into this
Right.
decision-making process, it's gonna get worse. Okay, so
I
I'm
know, it's
looking for
true.
some red cards for refs. Anyway, yeah, we still won. And it
But
seems to be the season of comebacks. Scotland
yeah.
were well in charge of the game. I think 3 tries up against Argentina yesterday, and Argentina came back
Yes.
to beat them by a point or so. So
Right.
it's watch out, play till the end,
Yes, no, exactly.
which is
And
we did
then
in the
we should
cricket.
mention what happened in the cricket. So South Africa won a
Great comeback.
test match. Great comeback in India against India was performance just great. And then the South Africa, Bafana, it was a friendly, but it was against Zambia, not a bad side. They won
Yeah.
3-0. It was just
Hello, 3-1.
there
I
was a
think. Don't take the last one
okay.
away from the.
Okay,
You must
sorry,
watch till
sorry,
the
sorry.
end of the game. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
So here's the difference between rugby and soccer. In rugby, as it
okay.
turns out, there are no friendlies. Okay,
Okay,
you get on the
really.
field and you mutt each other as hard as you
Yes,
can.
yes,
Anyway, we're
yes.
South African sports people because I tell you what, they're playing with unity of purpose. That's the
Yes.
difference. They all know what the
Okay.
mandate is and they do their best.
Things are looking up. It's just the stock market's now really and we got upgraded. It was a bit of a surprise, and that really means quite a lot. Actually, the only thing that's bad is that the Americans decided that not only are they not attending the G20, but they will repudiate any decision that is made at the
Yeah,
16 or G17 or whatever it is.
yeah, we must not be tempted into in any way praising those who don't pitch up. It's just bad manners, man. This is a
Yeah, I know
world
exactly.
event, and
Yes.
people that haven't got the courtesy to pitch up to your dinner mustn't get an invite next time. But it has cast the whole thing into some disarray, particularly, as you say, the US saying they won't agree with anything that happens there.
Right.
So, yeah, but bad manners. The trouble is that Trump is an unpredictable law unto himself. And I'm afraid that's going to have consequences. I see, for example, in our favor now that he's taken away the tariffs for citrus because I think he likes oranges or something. That's why I'm wearing an orange shirt.
Oh, yes.
Celebrate. And yeah, because citrus is a big export for us, and we make the
Yes.
best bloody citrus in the world.
No, and
But all of this.
that is so significant because what it effectively does is it recognizes the failure of his own policies. This is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
extraordinary thing about it, because everybody always said if you put up tariffs, then consumers in your country are going to pay for it. And
yeah.
now all of a sudden he says, what happens when you put up tariffs? the consumers in your country pay for it, and there's a political consequence, and we better reverse that. It's just so
Yeah, but
entirely
you
predictable.
can't go around chopping and changing on a case by case basis your
Yes.
big tariff policies and things of that nature. And I think that people are getting, to use an accounting term, hatful of all of this, man.
Yes.
It's not leadership. And so I think there are going to be grand economic consequences for this as we start tit for tat international trade policy and things of that nature. It's not good. It's just not good, and it's not responsible. And not
Yeah.
attending our G20 is not responsible either. So there.
Yeah. Can
Hey,
we go back to
mm,
the ratings downgrade? Because
yeah,
I have a joke
go for
about
it.
bonds. Okay. So why do
Yeah.
government bonds make terrible comedians?
No, no, you got me, Tim.
Because the returns are entirely predictable. That's not funny at all. I
Okay.
know. I know.
No, Tim, Tim, you must go and do a little course that they offer at UNISA called Funny 101, and you better prepare for it because you're not going to do well in the first semester. Okay, that's it. Yeah, anyway, but our yields are down to what, 8% or less now, aren't they, on
Yeah,
our 10-year bond? I
little
don't
bit
know.
more than 8%. Down from
Yeah,
11. That's you don't know what kind of
yeah,
saving
that's
that
a
results in.
30% re-rate, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. And what it means is that South Africa's government has around about 20 billion rand more than it thought it had.
Every
It's
year.
yeah, every year. And it strikes me that there's a way of solving our economic crisis. Do you want to know what that is?
Tim, if you want the Nobel Prize, I'm waiting for this. Okay.
Okay,
Because,
they
yeah,
should do the right thing.
like that. Yeah, that would be a succinct Nobel Prize entry. Yeah, do
Yes,
the
yes.
right thing. Okay, now
No.
we're all sitting here going, waiting for the right thing to be done. Yeah, what is the right thing, Tim?
No, it's just that South Africa went through this phase after in the early stages of the post-apartheid period. And this was under Trevor Manuel. And Trevor Manuel said, debt is very high. What we must do is we must reduce the debt. And every time we save money on reducing the debt, we pay for some social program. And
Right.
then gradually debt came down. It was sitting at around about 65%. It came all the way down to 25%. And then every time debt came down, government had more money to spend. And we could do the right thing. We could reduce South Africa's debt and use the money that we save.
No, but
Um,
there's the rub. It's not whether
right,
you've got money, it's how you use what you've got. Okay. Because the
exactly.
debt didn't come down by some sort of miraculous divine intervention. Debt was brought down on purpose, and money was
Yes,
spent on purpose on predetermined virtuous pursuits. Now,
yes.
all of that has to come together for your Nobel Prize entry to even get past the first gate. Okay. And so that's where we're floundering. But not to take it away from what's been described as a consolidation budget and all of those good things. Now that we've got favor, let's for goodness sake not
Not mess it up.
disabuse,
Yes,
whatever
yes,
what
yes,
the big
yes,
word
yes.
is there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
No,
yeah, but
precisely.
having said that, I still think the markets are a little buoyant, but I have to say,
Okay.
maybe we're going to be the exception, although we've already proved to be the exception in our peer group, even in dollar returns in our stock market. Long may it last.
Right.
But I think there's a bit of topsy-turvy coming the market's ways because of all of these conflicting economic policies from east to west to north, whatever.
Right. No, that's true, but not to be too cruel or anything, Mark. You have been saying that for the past year, and the markets are
Yes, I
not
know.
listening to
Thank
you.
you, Tim. I was hoping that you'd forgotten that. Yes, I know. So I'm a counter indicator. Okay. So whatever
Aha.
I say, I'm there. People have made fortunes not listening to my advice. Okay. I don't
All
trade the
right.
markets. Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so what else is interesting? Can I point to something that I think is yet another good thing that's happening in South Africa?
Please do. We
Um,
want.
so now the Attorney General has just made a municipal manager personally pay back for an inflated tender. Can I just say I think
Mhm.
that is a brilliant idea. I don't know why this hasn't happened more often. So
That's called
apparently
consequence management manifest. Yeah.
exactly, that's right. And it's quite a lot of money. So this is for the Khandla Mulema District Municipality, and the guy involved is Alan Losaba, and he has to repay 4.6 million bucks. And it's because
Ouch.
inevitably of a water tender, with a water delivery tender.
Mm.
Extraordinary, because I live in a small town, I'm more familiar with these things than maybe you city slickers are. But municipal managers are extremely important posts. They basically the most senior post in the administration. And you would think,
They're the CEOs of
yeah,
ecosystems called towns and cities.
exactly,
That's what they are.
exactly.
Complex jobs. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And the people who get appointed to them are, generally speaking, not great. You have to say there's a kind of network of them. They support each other, and when one gets booted out in one district, they move to another district, and you would think that they are the people who take instructions, right? They take instructions from the council. Not so much. They tell the council what the council can and cannot do. And the council, what do they know? You know what I mean? They're all the elected officials. They
This
don't know the
phenomenon,
intricacies of the law. They know what they want
yeah.
to do, but if the municipal manager says no, sorry, you can't do that because it's illegal, well, it's very hard for them.
But this is a phenomenon which has been around for so long, it's actually got a description. It's called cadre deployment. Okay. It's, yeah, it's already got a name. And having said that, these guys get paid well in little towns, as you point out, I
Right.
think in a big complex city like Johannesburg or Cape Town or Ekurhuleni or wherever, you could pay more and get more. It's not what you get paid, it's what you're worth that we should be debating. Okay. Because
Yes.
you can overpay ineptitude, but you can often not overpay for the right skills and such, because the difference that the right CEO can make in a city as much as in a corporation is a huge multiplier usually of what you have to pay them and
Oh,
incentivize
really
them to
interesting.
do,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
indeed it was
They
outcome
do
based.
that.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
if you look at CEOs that earn hundreds of millions and then you go, okay, what was their impact on the value for shareholders? It's usually a
Right.
tiny fraction of that impact.
Right.
And then
Right.
it's okay by me if I'm one of the shareholders, and we are the shareholders of South Africa, we the
Right.
taxpayers. So
Yeah.
it's getting that balance right. It's not an absolute number discussion. It's a value for money discussion that we need to have. Yeah. Take
So,
that,
what do you
sports
think,
lovers.
just as an interesting topical example here, you know that Elon Musk has been given $1 trillion potential pay package?
Yeah,
I
over
mean,
10 years or something. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, no, exactly. He has
yeah.
to, the market cap of the company has to increase by eightfold or something like that. And there's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
other things that have to
Yeah.
happen. So, do you think that's okay?
It's
Do you
worth
think
it.
that's,
That's
it's worth it?
100% okay. It
Really?
depends on, first of all, how
Wow.
much of that has to do with him. Okay.
Right.
And his strategy and so on. But if
Right.
he's going to go up a trillion and the company, I don't know what the market cap is of Tesla, but if that's
It's
going to
about a
increase
trillion.
by eightfold, 5 trillion.
Yeah.
So that's going to go to 40
Right.
trillion and he's going to make a one. Yeah, I'll do
Right.
that deal every day of the
Oh,
week.
okay.
As a shareholder in Tesla, wouldn't you? You got the managements that I have anything to do with have very clear incentive schemes which kick in and kick in generously after the shareholders have eaten well. Okay, so we
Right.
go, we want this return. And say a fintech company, if we go 3 times the Finny index, then we've more than eaten well, and you guys can have a lot after that because you the people that made it happen. Okay. And
Right.
so that's the missing piece. Incentive based outcomes work because they're a
Right.
fraction of the shared value that is created. There are obviously things that go wrong, exogenous factors. The wind is in your favor or the wind is against you. Those are going to, but over time, leadership makes a difference and you should pay its value. Until
Okay.
we
Well, this,
cross that hurdle in municipalities like Joburg, we won't
yes.
fix the city because you're not going to get the city fixed by someone, so now in finance, who would rather go and work for a major investment bank in South Africa and earn 20 times what the Joburg's going to pay them.
Right.
So I think we must put it on its head, Tim.
No, no,
Outcomes
no.
based,
I can
though.
understand this.
And
Yeah, yeah,
it's,
I can understand this. You do also have the problem of, in very large corporations, which are set in the market, it's incredibly difficult to move the needle. You know what I mean? If you're the head of Standard Bank, for example, a big achievement for you will be a sort of 5% increase in market share because this is a very established business. But in order to
yeah.
achieve that 5% increase, you'd have to be brilliant. You have to really do brilliant stuff.
So if
Well,
you do,
yeah, but here's
if
the
change
other side.
direct,
The other side of it is you're now the CEO of a gold mining company, and gold
yeah,
goes from $1,000 an ounce to what is it, 2,500 now. You had nothing to do with that.
yeah. Swings and roundabouts, mate. If
Okay,
you want to refer to the gold price over the life of a mine, okay,
right.
it's not that relevant in terms of swings and roundabouts because gold over the last 25 years has hardly been the world's best performing asset. But okay,
Yes,
go into fintech or microchip design or Starlink, or I can keep talking for the rest of this podcast about things which
yes,
have had thousands of percents of returns. and
Right.
where those who've invented, I mean, go back to banking. You take 30 years ago, it didn't exist. Okay, now it's rivaling First Rand as the biggest bank in South Africa. The guys who made that happen deserve a fortune, a tiny
Yes.
fraction of the market cap that they created. But who would have
Yes.
said every day in our markets and society, new things will emerge?
Right.
I'm wearing, what are these things called? One Life or One something shoes, these ones with elasticated laces. They've just come onto
Right.
the market. I forget what they're called now. But they've taken huge market share out of nothing. Now, that sort of change warrants reward and attracts the right energy and
Right.
intelligence and experience. And I'm afraid, my
Mark,
friend, we are not going to solve the complexity that is South Africa's dysfunctional cities without some extraordinary measure of those inputs.
Mark, that's all very interesting. I want
Yeah.
to. I think we need to see the tacky. Can we see the tacky?
Yeah, you can. I'll take it off. There it is.
Because this is okay. And this is the Federer tacky. This
Yeah,
is
I've
on
forgotten
air
its
or
name. Oh,
yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the techie, and I'm wearing it, and I've just put it
Okay.
back on again because you can just slip it on, although it's laces. Now,
Okay.
there's someone inventing that in banking somewhere, that new
Right.
thing. There's someone who
Okay.
brings out a new medicine and they make a fortune. There's a new one I've just read about called
Okay.
pranolol, which is the new thing that you take if you're feeling nervous before you have a speech or if you're about to go on a date. Nogal. Okay.
Oh,
So
really?
now they've got a
Okay.
thing. Yeah, it's growing like mad because just in case you're a little bit nervous, you pop one of these things. I don't know what's inside there, and I wouldn't touch such a thing. But suddenly things are going to go better in your speech and on your
Right.
date. And there's Ozempic, and there's cures for this, and there's if you didn't have that
Mm,
incentive for
right.
people to go out and take enormous risk to invent things. You take
Yes.
things like this fencing that we've got in South Africa, this clear view, okay? I wish I had
Right.
invented that, okay? It's everywhere. It's
Right.
strong, it's durable, and it's see-through. Who
Okay.
would have said,
Right.
okay? And
It's a
so
it's a what? It's a fencing. It's a
yeah,
fence.
you live in Prince Albert, you
Yeah.
don't have fences there because there's nothing to steal. Okay. You can walk through Prince Albert thinking, what shall I take? And you'll leave empty-handed. You
Listen, we've
leave
got
to,
olive oil
but
here. You could
yeah, you got
and
olive oil.
grapes.
Yeah, we can only
Yes.
carry so much
Figs.
olive oil. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And,
So tell us
okay.
about this now.
It's clear view. Everyone knows about it except you. In the whole world, everyone
Right.
knows about it. It is this fencing which is strong and durable, but it doesn't block
Right.
your view. So from an
Right.
inside, you can see out where the intruders are coming in. From the outside, you can see in without spoiling the view. But it's
Okay.
impenetrable. Okay. Now someone
Right.
invented that, whereas previously you
Okay.
had walls or barbed wire or whatever. That person has made a fortune. Okay. And so it goes on. But here's what I
Okay.
just read in the Wall Street Journal. Okay. There's a new poll that came out with saying that there are a lot of Americans who are comfortably pessimistic, talking about
Comfortably
fences.
pessimistic.
And they're
Right.
comfortably pessimistic because they're comfortable in their own bubble, but pessimistic about their world. Okay. Now, I think that applies to a large extent to a lot of the people in South Africa. And it's a manifestation of inequality in a sense. And here's the question I put to you. If you was uber wealthy, super wealthy,
Right.
what convenience would you seek to afford?
If I was super wealthy, I mean, there's no question. There's only one thing, and that is
What?
private plane. It's the
Yeah,
most wonderful
we're on the
thing on the
same
planet
page.
Earth.
Basically,
To be able to
yeah.
drink while you landing. I mean, that is the best thing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but generally
I,
speaking, and that's what the
right.
uber wealthy have. They
Right.
don't muddle up their days with queues, basically short queues.
Yes. Yes.
My advice I've given to children is if you ever want to think of motivation for getting wealthy, think short
Right.
queues, long stories. Okay, that's the game. Okay. And one of the things everyone says it's a 2 hour trip to Cape Town. It isn't. It's 5 hours.
No, no, exactly.
Okay.
No,
From door to door, it's 5 hours to Cape Town and just about anywhere else. Okay. And so if you had your own plane, your own
right.
transport, your own
Yes.
private stuff that had no timetables, no,
Yes.
exactly. And that's what people are doing in obviously much lesser ways, is people
Yes.
are making their lives comfortable and are trying to be immune to the worlds in which they find themselves, which are
Why?
generally getting messier.
Where does the pessimistic come from, though? Because if you're comfortable, wouldn't you be optimistic? This is what I don't understand about
No,
this.
but
Isn't
comfortable
comfortably
pessimists.
pessimistic another word for being old?
No, it could be. No, but don't you understand? These people are living in a bubble. Okay.
Right.
Comfortably pessimistic means you, okay, but pull up the
Yes.
ladder. But you must realize that
Right.
the survival of the bubbles
Right.
is at risk if the
Right.
general masses are getting into a worse and worse situation. At some point, the bubbles are going to be popped. So if you're super wealthy, but you're deeply invested in stock markets, you might be happy and comfortable, but you are worried about a crash. Okay.
That's why I don't have any money. I've thought this through.
But you're happy, Tim. But you're
No,
happy.
no. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I'm going to repeat this because I'm hoping to get the Nobel Prize for this one day, is that
Okay.
the value of money is measured in its absence, not in its
Yes.
abundance.
No, that's a very good
Okay.
point.
So
That's
all
very,
these
very good point.
people with their lovely things aren't happy, Tim. Tell me, please, they aren't happy. Okay.
And
Okay.
it would be worse if they
All
have a
right.
jet.
Yeah, and they'll be even less happy. Okay. Okay. Happy week,
That's what I
people.
think.
Look after
Happy
yourselves
week,
out
everyone.
there.
Look after yourselves. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye.